From the hunting lodge, we hiked up the mountain to Cypress Mine.
There's lots of switchbacks.
That trail was, it was a lot of going over creeks.
A lot of going uphill.
That was a pretty difficult hike.
We had lots of troubles. All of us did.
A few of us still had trouble with how our packs were distributed.
There were several stream crossings. Well, at one point, you're stepping on the rocks trying to cross the stream. I slipped on one of the rocks and stepped in the stream.
Because we had to go across creeks a lot and across little rivers and streams.
And then we were gonna go an easier trail, but then we found out that trail was closed.
We came upon the Y where you take I think it was a right to go to Cypress Mine, but that was closed because of trail work.
So my feet were wet, of course. I changed my socks and everything.
And the long way was treacherous because you had more rivers and streams, and then you would go on the side of hills that were really steep, and some areas had rock that had been washed down, and there was like a 1.5 foot of area you could walk on.
And walking right beside the mountains.
It was real rocky at the last bit going to Cypress Mine. That was probably our hardest part because everything seemed to be longer than it looked on the map.
We eventually got there.
Cypress Mine was pretty cool.
Pretty cool, looked really like a mine area.
Now the camps there were these big wooden, almost like shed things. They didn't have doors on the front, where you all would just go in there, put your sleeping bags and stuff, and sleep in there.
Hard to get up to. You had to go up a little small bank incline to get up there.
We got to sleep in this shed type thing that had no front to it, so it was just a 3-sided shed, and it was elevated off the ground, and we didn't have to make tents. It was a little bit of a climb to get up to our shed. It was a pretty cool place because of the sleeping arrangements and the fact that we didn't have to set up tents and do all that sort of thing. The night we got there, I believe we did an activity.
Learn how to do blacksmithing.
Where you hammer stuff, you get stuff hot enough to where you can hammer it. I can't quite remember what it is.
We made our own screwdriver.
Except it didn't work quite because it hadn't been fixed on the front to work.
We gotta keep the little screwdriver that we made.
To keep and take home and do some more work on it. Then later that night we went to the show. I forget what it was called.
The Stomp, which is where the actors go and they play music and they tell a whole bunch of stories and sing songs.
I heard it wasn't the greatest one, but it seemed pretty cool.
As long as it's dark and it's black and it's white, it's the cold in the Hillcrest sea, and they say don't go. Say don't go down in the Hillcrest mine. Say don't go. Say don't go down in the Hillcrest mine. 'Cause it's one short step. You might leave. in the Hillcrest mine.